So coming to newspaper, a lot of aspirants, they ask that which newspaper should we read and is it mandatory to read the newspaper? So what is your opinion on it?
So while I do enjoy keeping up with the news, the newspaper has been an eternal struggle for me. Maybe because keeping up with daily current affairs in particular, I felt highlighted the micro topics for me too much, and I felt overwhelmed by them. So for this attempt, I decided I stopped reading the newspaper. Although that might be an adventurous decision, and I certainly do not advocate for it. People should make a choice based on what works for them, and but that's what I did. I did not read the newspaper.
So how did you current affairs? How did you cover your current affairs?
So for prelims, I looked at the yearly compilations, and for mains, I joined the current affairs classes, and then some topics I would, because they do come up. And for example, I remember the S-400 missiles were being delivered just before mains, and the question came in mains as well. So even if I'm not reading the newspaper, as an aspirant and as just someone who's generally aware of what's happening, I did know about it. So I thought, oh, this is a topic I should at least have 2 lines on. So I remember writing it down. And then the topics that were left out or I felt could be covered, I did look at the yearly compilations for mains also, just to finish the topics that I hadn't.
So here Dipin sir is the current affairs faculty. How did you find his teaching methodology and the content that was delivered?
So I was very grateful for Dipin sir, because I generally found his energy to be very positive. And I remember he used to scold in between his classes, like scold people, oh, I know all of you are not studying. Although I was an online student, so I was just sitting back and laughing. But he would be like, oh, I know all of you are not studying, go home and study, and stuff like that. So, and the content was really helpful and quite comprehensive, I remember. I remember when I was making short notes right before mains, I realized, oh, now I have too many points and now I can't write them because there were like so many points added.
Coming to the prelims examination, which has really become a challenge. So first is, what was your broad strategy for clearing the prelims examination?
So I have given 3 attempts in civil services, and my first 2 I failed to clear prelims. So by no means am I an expert on this, and even my 3rd attempt, I plunged into it with blind confidence. No, that's wrong. It was blind delusion, because I remember giving mocks and getting maybe like 60 or something around that. And even then I was like, oh, I have 2 months, I'm going to clear this. And I was not talking to anybody else at that time, although I did get in touch with a few of my friends from college as prelims was getting closer, just to like refer strategies and sources and tips in general. But what I did was that till the end, even though my strategy was not perfect and there were so many things I did not know, I just kept working hard, and as hard as I could work. And in the last 1 month to 15 days, because the anxiety is so high, and prelims at this point is very factual as well, and there is a tendency to try to cover only those things that we don't know, and forget all the easy questions that are being asked. So I remember I used to make my father sit with me and just solve mocks, and not in the 2-hour time frame. I would just read the question, say the answer out loud, and he would tell me if it was right or wrong. And then I would just quickly look at the answer and move on, just so that I was maximizing the content I was covering in a day.
I often tell students that prelims is the tougher exam than the mains examination. The quality of life takes a huge toll. So what was your typical day like before the prelims, like 15 days or 20 days before the prelims exam?
So around 25 days before prelims was when I really went into full gear. Before that also I was studying, revising.
I want to know what time you woke up, what time you slept, and when did you study?
So I would wake up at...
Let's be honest.
I remember I was on my study table by 9:30. Prelims mein I used to wake up slightly earlier. Mains mein I used to start studying by 10:30. So 9:30, then I used to eat lunch at 1, and then I used to study till then. Then around 2:30 I would start studying again, and 7 is when I eat my dinner, and then after dinner I would study.
So from 2:30 to 7 you would study?
So it was my study schedule, like it was scheduled for just studying, But if if you even get up once, you're not going to sit back for at least another 15-20 minutes. So it's not humanly possible, I think, to even focus or even sit in one space. I don't think it's advisable either for your spine to do that. So I mean, I can't account for those breaks, but I remember in my head, like, it was scheduled for studying. And after dinner, I would study for 2-3 hours, and then around 11, either my mother or father, whoever was supposed to hover over me, make sure I was focusing, would give up, and then I would go to my room. And this was the last 20-15 days before prelims, and I used to think, oh, how am I going to remember all the national parks? Although, so then I would watch videos on it just before sleeping. So that was my prelims life before.
So one